At our engagement banquet, he abandoned me for another woman, whispering, "It's just an engagement party." I left him and the country behind. 5 years later, he cornered me at the airport. Before I could answer, my son glared at him, "Mom, this strange man is too rude." On the day of Elon's engagement party, his mentee Emma fell from the upper floor. Elon left immediately, abandoning me in front of all the guests. Before going, he promised lightly, "I'll be back." I forced myself to stay composed, arranged matters for the guests, and called him. On the other end of the line, however, all I heard was Emma's weeping voice, "Elon, I'm dragging you down." He comforted her gently, "It's just an engagement party. What's more important than a life?" At that moment, I knew our relationship had reached its end. That very night, I packed my luggage and left the country. 5 years later, I saw Elon again at the airport when I returned to the States. He cornered me, grasped my wrist, and demanded, "You've been hiding from me for 5 years. And now you're finally back." Before I could answer, Raymond spoke up beside me. "Mom, this strange man is so rude. I'll tell Dad, and he'll beat him up." The guests had long dispersed. I sat motionless on a chair, still wearing the gown I had chosen so carefully. My eyes ached. When I blinked, tears spilled uncontrollably, ruining the elaborate makeup I had spent over 3 hours perfecting. "Did you reach Elon?" Linda asked sharply, her voice tinged with anger. I nodded stiffly. "So, what did he say?" I tried to force a smile, but fresh tears welled up. I remembered the call I had just made. Before I could even speak, Emma's sobs came through the phone. "Elon, it's all my fault. Today should have been your engagement with Colleen, but I dragged you down." And Elon, with his gentle voice, replied, "It's just an engagement party. What's more important than a life? If this one doesn't work out, there will be another. Your priority is to rest and recover." The moment the call ended, I didn't dare listen to anything more. My fingers trembled as I fumbled to hang up. Linda's eyes burned with reproach. "Elon said he was leaving, and you didn't stop him? What could be so urgent that he couldn't spare time for his own engagement?" Seeing her agitation, Robert quickly put an arm around her shoulder, murmuring words of comfort. Elon's relatives, seated nearby, exchanged uneasy glances but dared not speak. Just moments earlier, my boyfriend of 3 years had walked out of our engagement party for his young mentee. "Elon, if you leave this party today, then we're completely over," I had shouted. He had only smiled, his tone maddeningly gentle. "Don't be dramatic, Colleen. I'll be back soon. I won't be long. I'm serious. If you walk out of that hotel entrance, we're breaking up." Elon looked at me steadily, his voice still calm. "Don't talk about breaking up again. I owe you an apology this time. Wait for me, I'll come back. Next time, I'll give you an even grander engagement party to make up for this." Overwhelmed, I grew hysterical. "Elon, you're my boyfriend, my fiancé. Do you know how long I've been planning this party? You can leave any other day, but not today." I blocked the door, refusing to let him pass. His brows furrowed in displeasure, and I knew it was the prelude to his anger. "Colleen, look at yourself. What difference is there between you and a madwoman right now? Emma fell and was injured, she's a young girl, alone. As her sponsor, how can I not help her? When did you become so cold and unsympathetic? You weren't like this before." His dark eyes bored into me, the indifference in them piercing straight to my heart. "See to the guests. I have to leave now." He brushed past me without looking back. I didn't notice that the phone in my pocket flickered, several new messages from Emma. I stood before the mirror, staring at my reflection, flawless gown, perfect makeup, but a twisted, furious expression. Word by word, I forced it out, "Colleen and Elon are officially over, starting today." It felt less like a declaration than a warning to myself. After he left, Colleen fully escorted the remaining guests out, then spent a long time persuading my parents to leave the hotel as well. Along the way, I endured the disdainful looks and mocking whispers, pretending not to notice. My family background was respectable, I had always held my head high in our social circle. After being with Elon, few dared to provoke me, though I had certainly made enemies along the way. As I changed out of my gown, preparing to leave, a woman blocked my path. She and I had always been rivals. At school, we competed for the top spot. Later, when we began dating, we both fell for Elon. In the end, Elon chose me, and ever since then, she never missed a chance to mock me. Well, Colleen, look at you now. How pathetic. Seems Elon finally got tired of playing with you." I knew it. Someone like you was bound to be dumped sooner or later. I gave her a cold glance. "Even so, I'm still better off than you. At least he bothered to play with me, unlike you, he never even wanted you." "You?" Her face twisted with fury. "Others might fear your precious family name, but I'm not afraid. Do you really think everyone wants to be like you, pathetically circling a man like a dog around its master?" I've already taken over my family's project and made hundreds of millions. What about you? Still clinging to the illusion that Elon loves you? Pathetic. You were nothing but a backup. If someone younger and prettier appeared, do you think he'd still be with you? She studied my face, then sneered. Could I be right? Did he already have mistresses? Haha, Colleen, you finally got what you deserved. Annoyed, I snapped, and what does that have to do with you? Nothing at all. But seeing you miserable makes me happy. I shoved her aside and walked away without a word. Behind me, Elon's friends whispered, she didn't deny it just now. Looks like Elon really dumped her. Good riddance, I've always hated her deadpan face. Their words shattered my heart like glass. Hearing the spiteful remarks behind me, my heart shattered like glass. I finally understood. To Elon, I had always been a backup, a convenient plan B, someone he could offer scraps of affection to in his spare time, the same casual fondness he might give a pet kitten at home. My pride and self-respect had long since been eroded by his constant control and hot and cold treatment. I didn't defend myself, because deep down I knew they were right. I had believed that endless tolerance and lowering my standards would earn Elon's pity and love. I had told myself again and again that, at least, I was the official partner, no matter how many women he found, my place would remain secure. But love isn't like that. It isn't love just because I stayed home, did his laundry, cooked his meals, and hung on his every word. It isn't love just because I endured everything around him and let his friends throw sarcasm at me. It isn't love just because I handled his mistresses and still forced a smile at his side during parties. Love is active. Love is respectful. Love is independent. What happened that day eventually reached Elon's ears. A week after the engagement fiasco, he called me. I just found out what awful things they said about you that day. Don't be angry, Colleen. I bought you that pink diamond you wanted. I'll have it set into a ring as an apology when I see you next. But I still have to say something. There were so many people at the hotel entrance. How could you give my friends the cold shoulder? Where did that leave my reputation? If they mocked you, couldn't you have endured it for a bit? You could have told me later, and I would definitely have handled it for you. Look at how gentle Emma is. How can I feel secure marrying you when you act like this? He didn't even realize how harsh his words sounded. Then came his solution. My father said we'll redo the engagement party next month. I'll give you an even more lavish ceremony to make up for this. Emma. Emma. Always Emma. Ever since Elon began sponsoring her a few months ago, her name had crept into our dinners, our chats, even our bed. We had been together for 3 years. Of course I knew the look he had when he truly fell for someone. But I had loved him for so long that I was unwilling to let go. I had told myself things would settle down after we got engaged. Yet Elon abandoning our engagement party for Emma was my harshest reality check. On the phone, I was silent for a long time. Then I said, slowly but clearly, Elon, we're over. I told you the moment you left the engagement party, we broke up. His tone turned cold. Colleen, you know my temper. Don't joke like that. I'll pretend I didn't hear it. I'm not joking. I'm serious. I won't cling to you anymore. You can rest assured. I won't have anything to do with you again. Colleen, aren't you afraid I'll get engaged to someone else and won't want you anymore if you say things like that? His voice carried an unspoken threat. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Elon, when have you ever lacked women? Even when you were with me, you didn't hesitate to find young models for one-night stands. Feel free to get engaged to whomever you like. I hung up without hesitation and blocked every way he could reach me. If we were going to break up, it was best to make a clean break. Yet my chest ached. Tears slid silently down my cheeks as I lay back on the sofa. Each heartbeat felt like a blade reminding me what I had lost. Elon had spoken so confidently because he never believed I would leave. After all, our story began the night I was walking home from university and a group of thugs tried to harass me. Elon had appeared like a knight in shining armor and saved me. I fell for him at first sight, became utterly dependent on him, and even tolerated his cheating once we started dating. That's why he always acted with impunity, convinced that a few placating words would calm me and bring me back. Everyone knew I couldn't leave him. But this time, I no longer wanted to deceive myself. I had thought the engagement would change everything, but people don't change so easily. A month after our breakup, Elon still didn't contact me. It was as though he wanted to teach me a lesson, to make me jealous, anxious, and then crawl back on my own. During that month, gossip about him filled our social circle. He was constantly seen with young models or minor celebrities. His friends hinted repeatedly that I should reconcile with him, but I stayed unmoved. Without me, Elon and Emma became bold and openly inseparable. Emma posted their every move on social media. Before she even graduated, she became his personal assistant, an object of envy. One day he took her to a luxury brand dinner. The next, he spent the entire night with her during a thunderstorm. The day after, he brought her to an industry summit to meet powerful figures. Now, anyone who wanted Elon's schedule could just check Emma's posts. My own chat history with Emma contained only a single message, from when she first added me. Do you believe that with one message, I can make him abandon you, even while you're preparing for your engagement, and come to me? At the time, I had brushed it off as a childish threat, but I never expected to stumble so hard because of it. That was when I realized, between the two of us, I would always be the one Elon cast aside. And I no longer wanted to sit and wait for him to do it again. Sitting at home, staring at the lush green outside the window, I suddenly wanted to see the world I had never seen. For years, I had stubbornly guarded my love for Elon, refusing to move an inch. But now that love was gone, it was time to leave too. When I told my brother my plan, he made his decision within an hour. He would send me to open up the US market for the company. Does it have to be me? I told you I wanted to travel, not work, I protested, tugging at the doorframe and looking at him pitifully, then at Mom and Dad. Linda frowned, reluctant. Colleen has been in a bad mood lately. Why are you assigning her work? What kind of brother are you? My brother sighed helplessly. The company needs to open up the US market. I can't leave the States, and Dad's getting old. If she doesn't go, who will? Colleen has always been more capable than me. If she hadn't refused to take over company matters because of Elon, our family would have already reached another level. This time she can't refuse. Don't you want to clear your head, Colleen? Then go to the US and bury yourself in work instead of thinking about all that lovesick nonsense. Resigned, I picked up my luggage and boarded the plane, beginning a long-haul flight to the US alone. As soon as I settled into my seat and stowed my bag, I pulled on my eye mask, ready to drift off to sleep. Is that Colleen? A clear, pleasant male voice drifted into my ears. I tugged down my eye mask and turned. A tall, slender man wearing a black mask stood beside my seat. His peach blossom eyes shimmered with a familiar, captivating sparkle. Seeing the recognition in my gaze, he pulled down his mask. It's me. I froze for a second before blurting out in surprise, Thomas, you're going to the US too. Thomas, my senior from university, nodded with a gentle smile. I received an offer to be a professor at a university there. I didn't expect to meet you on this flight. I saw your social media post a while back, about your engagement. My smile faltered and stiffened. I didn't know how to tell him about the fiasco. After a pause, I forced out the words, there was an accident. He and I broke up. This trip is for my family's company, I'll be helping expand our projects in the States. Sensing my discomfort, Thomas didn't press further. He simply said, then we'll be able to see each other often in the US. I nodded, smiling a little more naturally this time. Thomas and I had first met in the university drama club. He was the club president, handsome, talented, always chosen as the male lead in rehearsals. We bonded over literature, collaborating on several performances that were warmly received. I still remembered one night, after our play's successful premiere, the whole club went out to celebrate. When everyone grew tipsy, Thomas walked me home beneath a starry sky. We spoke of our favorite books, step by step, my heart fluttering with the cedarwood scent that lingered on him. That night, I almost believed we were soulmates. My heart leaned toward him without restraint, and I thought I would wait for him to confess. But later, I met Elon. I poured everything into him, and the pen I'd once held for Thomas was set down and never picked up again. Our connection faded, our paths drifted apart. Now, sitting beside him on this plane, staring into his familiar eyes, I felt something stir violently in the hollow place inside my chest. During my first week in the US, Elon called. I didn't want to answer, but the phone kept ringing relentlessly until I picked up. Silence. He waited for me to speak first. Annoyed, I snapped, if you don't speak, I'm hanging up. Finally, his voice came, slightly slurred, tinged with drink. Colleen, it's been over a month. Have you had your fun? You've never stayed away this long before. Is Summer Holdings so short-staffed that they had to send you to the US? You should be back by now. My grip on the phone tightened. Fun? Elon, what do you mean fun? Whether the company is short-staffed or not has nothing to do with you, and you have no right to control where I go. My irritation spilled out sharper than I intended. His voice hardened. Don't speak to me in that tone. Haven't you calmed down by now? I apologized. I bought you a pink diamond, I'll make up the engagement party. What else are you still unhappy about? Why are you always so dramatic? I laughed bitterly. And yet you accuse me of being dramatic? You left me and still expect me to play the dutiful little housewife, cooking and warming your bed. He bristled. Look at yourself. Do you still behave like you used to? Where's your upbringing? You weren't like this before. My anger flared. Upbringing? If being ladylike means becoming another Emma, then no thank you. And Elon, don't forget, everyone knows your father married into your mother's family. Should I ask if your late mother was ladylike enough for you? There was a stunned silence. Then he sighed. I called to talk properly. I booked a hotel for the 2nd of next month. We'll redo the engagement party. When you come back, I'll pretend I didn't hear anything you said today. But once we're engaged, I don't want you doing public-facing work anymore. I'll settle down too. Let's just put everything behind us. My fury spiked. Put everything behind us? Elon, let me repeat it, we're finished. If you want a wife so badly, go marry Emma. She'd be delighted. I hung up, blocked his number, and shut off my phone. Just as I calmed down, a knock sounded at my door. Opening it, I found Thomas. He stood there in casual clothes, only 2 buttons fastened, his toned abs and pale chest half exposed, a sight that made me swallow involuntarily even as I scoffed inwardly at his lack of restraint. We had discovered, on my first day in the US, that we were now next-door neighbors. I called, but your phone was off, he said warmly. So I came to knock. Are you busy tonight? Some students told me there's a fireworks show at Rocky Beach. My eyes lit up. Not busy. Where is it? At the beach. Let's have dinner first, I'll drive us afterward. All right, I smiled, nodding quickly. See you tonight. After dinner, Thomas and I walked along the soft sand, side by side with the crowd, until a sudden crack split the night sky. Fireworks burst overhead, exploding into radiant blossoms that painted the darkness with dazzling color. Every now and then Thomas glanced at me, his eyes shimmering with unspoken emotion. The glow of the fireworks illuminated his features, casting his profile in golden light. My cheeks warmed. Do you still remember our first meeting? He asked softly. That night was also filled with fireworks. You were just as captivating then as you are now. I felt my face grow hotter. Of course I remember. Freshman year. After meeting you, you lured me into the drama club. He chuckled. Then you should thank me for discovering your talent. I smiled faintly, saying nothing, but inwardly I agreed. Without Thomas, I might never have known my love for directing. Silence fell again, strangely charged. Then Thomas stopped, turning to face me. Our distance shrank until I could feel his breath. His eyes burned with affection and anticipation. Colleen, these fireworks are beautiful, he murmured. But to me, you shine brighter than them all. My heart skipped. Can I take that as a confession? Yes. I wanted to say it 4 years ago. He paused, enunciating each word. Colleen, will you be my girlfriend? My pulse raced wildly. Looking into his sincere eyes, time itself seemed to halt. His warmth enveloped me, his feelings so clear that the word yes trembled on my lips, yet still, I hesitated. For 3 years with Elon, I had loved him until I was bruised and battered inside. Now, I didn't even know if I still had the courage to love again. Thomas seemed to sense my hesitation. He whispered softly, It's all right, Colleen. I don't care about your past. What happened before doesn't matter. What matters is our future, yours and mine. My hand unconsciously clutched the corner of his shirt, as if needing proof that his words were real. At last, I smiled. Then, please take care of me, my boyfriend. In that moment, I was not only willing to give Thomas a chance, I was willing to give myself a chance, too. Above us, fireworks erupted, their thunderous echoes drowning out everything else. A faint, ambiguous warmth hung between us. Slowly, Thomas leaned in, and his lips brushed mine. It felt like an electric current coursed through me. His hand slid around my waist, drawing me close, and my body instinctively responded. Our heartbeats found the same rhythm, echoing in each other's embrace. Back home, I discovered that Thomas had posted something on social media, a rare move for him. The photo was of us kissing under the fireworks, with a caption, After many twists and turns, it finally came to fruition. The comments quickly flooded in. Old drama club friends teased us. Thomas, the man who waited all these years, finally brought our club beauty home. Reading their words, my ears and cheeks flushed crimson. Then my best friend Chloe called. The moment I picked up, her shriek nearly pierced my eardrum. Colleen. You're finally with Thomas. You have no idea how much I shipped you two in college. I was so upset when you got engaged to someone else, I never thought things would turn around like this. Her excitement made me laugh. Thomas and I were just friends back then. How could you have shipped us? Are you kidding? Chloe shot back. The drama club's heartthrob and its belle, campus celebrities. Everyone wanted you together. And now, look, our Colleen has finally escaped her misery and found a new life. Her words lingered in my heart long after the call ended. That evening, Thomas sat with me on the sofa and pulled me into his arms from behind. I leaned against him, breathing in his familiar cedarwood scent. He pressed a kiss to my hair. What were you and Chloe talking about? He asked. I chuckled. She said some people thought we were a good match in college. She never expected us to actually end up together. Thomas's eyes softened. Honestly, I wanted to confess on your 20th birthday. But before then, you met Elon. I turned, silencing him with a quick kiss. My cheeks burned scarlet, and Thomas chuckled low in his throat. He cupped the back of my head, deepening the kiss. It began gently, then grew more passionate. His fingers stroked through my hair as I clung tightly to his neck, matching his movements. The atmosphere thickened with intimacy, every breath charged with sweetness. When he finally pulled back, his gaze lingered. With his thumb, he brushed over my lips, now swollen from his kisses. I glared playfully. My lips are sore. Thomas only smirked, and leaned in again. That night, every corner of the house was steeped in our tenderness. But we weren't the only ones who saw Thomas's post. That same night, Elon was drinking with a group of idle friends. A cigarette dangled loosely between his lips, weariness clouding his eyes. One of them, Brett, who happened to know Thomas, stumbled upon the post and forwarded it to the group. A strange silence swept through the room. Elon frowned. "What's wrong with all of you?" Brett hesitated, then spoke. "Elon, I just saw Thomas's social media. About Colleen. Your friend from drama club. He made it official." Elon's frown deepened. "So what? We're all connected. Isn't it normal to see his posts?" Another man, still oblivious to the situation, muttered something, but Elon didn't respond. He only exhaled a smoke ring and downed his drink, his mind elsewhere. He remembered Colleen's furious words from their earlier call, and resentment twisted in his chest. Hadn't he already punished his friends for mocking her? Hadn't he booked a more luxurious hotel to give her the perfect engagement ceremony she deserved? What more did she want? Why was she jealous of Emma? Emma was just a girl he had saved, just as he once saved Colleen. What was wrong with sponsoring her and giving her a job? The group wasn't lacking in positions. Besides, Emma had fallen that day. Without immediate treatment, she might have lost her leg. How could Colleen, of all people, be so cold? She had once been harassed herself. Why couldn't she empathize? Yes, his heart had wavered when he first saw Emma's youthful charm. But Colleen had always tolerated his dalliances before. Why throw a tantrum now? He recalled Emma whispering to him once, that he was too indulgent with Colleen. That he should treat her colder, let her know the fear of losing him. And so, he convinced himself that Colleen was simply being unreasonable. Brett finally spoke up, his face uneasy. "Elon, Thomas's post, it's official. He announced his relationship with Colleen. There's even a photo of them kissing." The private room went dead silent. No one dared breathe. "Give me the phone." Elon's voice was low and hoarse, his gaze sharp as a blade. Brett hesitated but handed it over, instantly regretting it. Elon stared at the screen for a long moment before hurling the phone violently onto the floor. The crash made everyone flinch. Brett mourned for his shattered device but dared not speak. "That's enough for tonight. I'm not in the mood." Elon's expression didn't waver as he walked out. But the image of Colleen and Thomas kissing burned in his mind like a brand. "Colleen, how dare you? Did you really give up on me so easily?" He couldn't believe it. Yet after their phone call earlier that day, she had cut all ties, no calls, no replies. He had even gone to her house, but her family refused to give him any information. Only when his fists ached from clenching did he notice blood pooling in his palm. He wiped it carelessly onto his expensive suit. A bitter smile tugged at his lips. If Colleen were here, she would scold me again for being reckless, nagging that bacteria would get into the wound. He had never imagined depending on her like this. How long is she going to be dramatic this time? Meanwhile, I was pouring everything into the US branch of our company. It took more than a year, but finally, on Christmas, our team completed our first project successfully. That night, Thomas booked a restaurant to celebrate. With him, I experienced a love I had never known before: respect, patience, warmth, and care. When I fell ill with a fever, he stayed awake all night at my side, changing cold towels, giving me medicine, and holding my hand until I recovered. And when I confessed that I still dreamed of being a director, Thomas used his network to introduce me to screenwriters and directors in the US, asking them to guide me. Elon had always wanted me to be a delicate, ornamental woman. Thomas, however, helped me reclaim myself, independent, strong, free. That Christmas evening, Thomas appeared in a suit, knelt on one knee before me, and spoke with quiet passion. "Colleen, every day with you has been a gift. I want to spend the rest of my life caring for you, loving you. Colleen, will you marry me?" My hands trembled. My heart raced. In that moment, the world fell silent, leaving only Thomas and me. Tears blurred my vision as I nodded. "I do." 3 months later, we held a small wedding in the US, no grand banquet, no endless guest list. Only our dearest family and friends witnessed our vows. That night, after I showered, I sat on the sofa scrolling through my phone when Thomas stepped out of the bathroom, a towel around his waist. Water glistened down his sculpted muscles, his broad shoulders narrowing to a trim waist. Even after a year together, my cheeks still grew hot at the sight. Thomas grinned, swept me into his arms, and carried me to the bed. "Colleen, it's our wedding night. Let's stay up until dawn." His warm breath brushed my ear, making my face flush. "You'll have to prove yourself first," I teased. He chuckled and kissed me deeply. His lips traced a fiery path lower, and our breaths mingled until dawn painted the sky. Months later, a knock at my door froze me in place. When I opened it, Elon stood there. "Colleen," he breathed, stepping forward to seize me in his arms. "I finally found you." I shoved him back, my voice ice cold. "How did you find this place?" "Don't worry about that. It's been over a year. Don't you miss me? Come back with me, please." His grip tightened on my shoulder. "Let go." I shook him off. "Why would I return to you? We broke up long ago." "I never agreed." Elon's eyes burned. "I never agreed to breaking up. There was nothing between me and Emma. I swear, I'm innocent. Please believe me. I'll tear my heart out to prove it if I must." I stared him down. "Elon, your explanation comes far too late. Our breakup didn't need your consent. This isn't love. You left me at our engagement party for Emma, knowing I'd be mocked, and you still went. You filled your parties with models and celebrities, knowing I'd be ridiculed, and you still did it. You let your friends trample and humiliate me, knowing exactly what it meant. Deep down, Elon, you just didn't value me. You never loved me." Tears pricked my eyes, but I forced them back, appalled at how many years I had wasted on him. "I'm sorry, Colleen," he whispered, anguish cracking his voice. "I'll cut ties with them all, fire Emma, sever those friendships. Please, believe me. Of course I love you. I only love you. Look, I even brought our engagement ring. Let me put it on you." He fell to his knees, trembling, his eyes pleading. If it had been before, those words might have melted me instantly. But now, they came years too late. "Elon," I said flatly, raising my left hand to show the ring gleaming on my finger, "let it go. I'm already married." He froze as if struck by lightning. "You're lying. You just want to anger me." "I don't believe it." I hurried to the bedroom, retrieved our marriage certificate, and thrust the bright red booklet into his hands. "This is real. Do you believe me now?" His face contorted. "Colleen, stop it. This is fake." He grabbed my head and crushed his lips against mine. The cold, unwelcome touch made bile rise in my throat. "It's real." I wrenched free and slapped him hard across the face. "Are you awake now?" My vision blurred, my face was pale. A stabbing pain twisted in my lower abdomen. My hair hung in disarray, my eyes wild and bloodshot. "Get out!" I screamed, feral, every nerve raw. Elon didn't dare push me further. He gave me one last, heavy look before stumbling out of the house. But after he left, the pain in my lower abdomen only grew sharper. My hands shook as I dialed Thomas. He rushed me to the hospital. "Congratulations," the doctor said gently. "You're 3 weeks pregnant. You need to rest well and avoid emotional stress." I touched my stomach in surprise. The bitterness of Elon's intrusion faded instantly, replaced by the fragile joy of new life. 10 months later, I gave birth to our son. Thomas named him Raymond. When Raymond was almost 3, the first film I wrote and directed was finally ready for release. After securing distribution in U.S. theaters, Thomas and I decided to return to the States with Raymond. At the airport, Raymond and I waited in a quiet corner while Thomas collected our luggage. That was when I unexpectedly spotted Elon, standing at the arrival gate with a nervous-looking assistant. Since I'd gone abroad, Elon had taken over the family business. But with poor judgment and little ability, nearly every project under him lost money. The group was full of complaints. Later, he dismissed Emma, but she had already been expelled from university for failing too many classes. With no degree, every job search ended in rejection. Desperate, she betrayed Elon, leaking 2 lucrative projects to a rival conglomerate. Those losses hollowed out the once powerful Vance Group. Now, Elon's father had personally set up a project, ordering him to secure the deal no matter what. That was why Elon, once an arrogant heir, had lowered himself to pick up potential partners at the airport. And then he saw me. "Colleen." Elon strode forward, gripping my wrist. His voice trembled with desperation. "You've hidden from me for 5 years. Are you finally back?" I rolled my eyes and opened my mouth, but before I could speak, Raymond piped up indignantly, "Mommy, this weird uncle is so rude. Why did he grab you?" "I'm telling Daddy, he'll beat him up." Only then did Elon notice the small boy standing beside me. His eyes lit with manic hope. you're pregnant. This must be our child. I knew you lied when you said you were married. You still love me, don't you? But when he took in Raymond's size, doubt flickered across his face. Why does our son look so short for a 5-year-old? Did you two not eat well abroad? Never mind, you can make up for it once you're back home with me. Raymond puffed up angrily, hands on his hips. You're the short and ugly uncle. I'm not even 3 yet. Isn't my height normal? Elon's eager smile froze instantly. I smirked, tugging my wrist free. Who told you Raymond was your son? Didn't I already say, I'm married? We've been broken up for 5 years. How could I possibly have a child under 3 with you? Elon's expression turned cold. He reached for me again. Enough, Colleen. Stop acting. But I stepped back, straight into Thomas's arms. He had just returned with our luggage, his smile polite but his eyes glacial. Elon, he said evenly, what do you think you're doing to my wife? You too, Elon muttered, stunned, as though the word wife cut into him. He seemed ready to argue further, but his assistant hurried to whisper in his ear, Mr. Daniel will arrive soon, CEO Fu. This man doesn't look wealthy, let's handle business first. Elon hesitated, then shot me a long, burning look before turning away. Thomas tilted his head toward me. Are you all right? I forced a smile. I'm fine. Raymond, however, stood proudly with his little hands on his waist. I protected Mommy today. Aren't you going to praise me? I bent down and kissed his chubby cheek. Raymond's the best. But trouble followed quickly. When I sought cooperation with domestic movie theaters, resistance met me at every turn. Though Elon had gutted the company, the Vance name still carried weight. Many firms, unwilling to offend his family, rejected me the moment they heard my name. Leaving one office dejected, I nearly collided with Elon himself, just as he was going in. Colleen, he said solemnly, I've thought it through. Even if you're married, you know me. Divorce Thomas and come back. I won't mind that you had a child with him. If we're together, I'll handle all your films, your promotions, your scheduling. With the Vance's resources, I'll give you everything you want. A flicker of disgust churned in my chest. Elon, even if you handed me the stars themselves, I wouldn't come back. He pressed on, his voice trembling. I know you suffered with me before. I'll treat you better this time. I shook my head, smiling faintly. 5 years have passed, that's all water under the bridge. I stopped caring a long time ago. I don't believe it. His voice sharpened. How could you just stop loving me? I suddenly felt bone-deep exhaustion. Elon, we broke up years ago. We've been apart longer than we were ever together. Believe it or not, I'm leaving. His eyes were bloodshot as I walked away without looking back. Times had changed. Seeing him again stirred nothing in me. Our 3 years together were fading into a distant blur. When I couldn't secure distribution deals, Sterling, Vance's greatest rival, sent me a collaboration invitation. Elon, out of spite, announced that his company would release a competing film against mine. In order to match my film's release date, Elon rushed his own project through production. He poured nearly all of Vance's remaining funds into marketing, leaving little for post-production. Before the premiere, he called me. Colleen, you still have a chance to turn back. What I can give you, Thomas never will. I couldn't help but laugh. Elon, I pity you. In your eyes, is love always a transaction for profit? Do you think I'd abandon a film I poured my soul into, just to go back to you? His voice rose, edged with fury. Then tell me, what exactly do you love about him? My love for Thomas and my love for film are not in conflict. He respects me. He supports me. He's a million times better than you. Even if Thomas didn't exist, I would never, in this lifetime, go back to you. I've learned my lesson. I'm done looking back. Looking back, perhaps Elon and I ended up together only because we were so alike, stubborn, sharp-edged, unwilling to yield. But over the years, Thomas's gentleness had smoothed my roughness, while Elon, scarred by his failures, grew more extreme than ever. After release, my film drew critical acclaim. Theaters were packed, audiences praising every scene. Elon's film, despite the avalanche of promotions, was derided as a fraud, 10 times the hype, 1/10 the quality. His reckless gamble pushed Vance to the brink of collapse. Stripped of his arrogance, Elon scrambled daily for deals and investors. But because of his past hauteur, no one wanted to work with him. Those who did, he scorned. It was then that his sister, Megan, returned from abroad. She had stayed away ever since their mother, Linda, passed. Now, she reclaimed Vance with an iron hand. Corrupt executives installed by their father and Elon were purged without hesitation. She sent their father to a sanatorium, isolated from the world, and showed no mercy to Elon. He had nearly destroyed the company. Megan exiled him to Africa under the guise of project development. In truth, it was banishment. Elon had once forced her out in a power struggle. Now, the tables had turned. Before he left, he came to my house. I refused to see him. That day, rain poured in torrents. He knelt outside my door, clutching a bouquet of hydrangeas, our old engagement ring tucked into his pocket. He wept, begging forgiveness, hoping I would look back even once. My brother watched from the window, his face tight with conflict. He's reaping what he sowed, he murmured. Men are all the same, I said flatly. Raymond, playing with his toys nearby, piped up in his childish voice, Lo isn't like that. Raymond loves mommy the most. Laughter rippled warmly through the house. One day, while trying on a gown, my film had been nominated for an award and I was preparing for the red carpet, I received a call from Megan. Her tone was probing, but I told her clearly, Elon and I were long over. Less than 2 months later, news came. Elon had died in a violent conflict in Africa. A chill spread through me, but I asked no questions. The night of the film awards, the grand hall glittered with light. Arm in arm with Thomas and holding Raymond's small hand, I walked the red carpet. Cameras flashed wildly, reporters marveling that we looked every bit as radiant as the celebrities around us. Inside, the ceremony began. My chest tightened, my eyes fixed on the stage, heart pounding like a drum. I thought of the past 2 years, how I had poured every ounce of passion into this film. Every shot, every line of dialogue held my soul. Time seemed to crawl. My hand sought Thomas's, gripping tightly. He squeezed back, his touch steady, reassuring. The host stepped forward, drawing out the announcement. This year's best new filmmaker is. The hall grew taut with anticipation. Colleen. The name rang in my ears. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. Thunderous applause shook the room. Tears blurred my vision. I hugged Thomas tightly. My voice broke. Husband, thank you. I love you. He smiled, nudging me gently toward the stage. Every step I took up the carpeted stairs felt strong, unshakable. On the stage, clutching the trophy, I choked out my gratitude, to my beloved, to my family, to my friends. Through misty eyes, I saw Thomas and Raymond smiling up at me. And in that moment, I knew, on the long road ahead, with them beside me, I would never be alone again. I once thought love meant sacrifice. I endured humiliation and betrayal, waiting for scraps of affection. But standing on that stage with my trophy, Thomas's steady smile, and Raymond's small hand in mine, I finally understood, true love is respect, freedom, and someone who walks beside you. The girl who once wept at a deserted engagement party was gone. In her place stood a woman who had built her own future, found a love worthy of her heart, and would never look back again.